Good evening, Evans.
Evening, sir. Dinner is served, Mr. Kessler.
Thank you. Good evening, my dear. You're more beautiful than ever this evening. Mrs. Kessler first, Evans.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Evans, how's Dad taking it?
All right, Miss Virginia. They're having dinner.
I'll answer it.
Hello, Virginia.
I told you not to come here this evening, Ralph.
Why? Didn't you want to see me?
Well, it isn't that I didn't want to see you.
You're certainly acting strange, darling. What's all the mystery about?
Let's go into the library.
You see, Ralph,
Ralph!
After dinner, we are taking a long walk.
I'd like to speak to you, Ralph.
What's come over your father, Virginia? Is that why you didn't want me here tonight?
Yes.
It stopped me cold. I'm sorry if I accidentally stumbled on something you didn't want me to know.
Well, it must seem weird to someone who's never seen it before. It happens once a year.
You always appeared perfectly rational to me.
Well, there's something I must tell you. It's about my mother.
I don't understand.
Well, it happened several years ago. My father and mother were apparently as happy as two people could be. He worshipped her.
Another man?
The usual best friend. It almost broke my father's heart. He seems reconciled, but he never forgets their wedding anniversary and celebrates it that way.
Guess he isn't the only one who resorts to make-believe, but it does give one an uncanny feeling.
Well, it doesn't frighten me anymore. Now that you know.
I love you.
you wanted your coat, Miss Kessler.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh?
Yes, of course.
Sure you don't mind going?
No, I'd love it.
We'll be back in an hour, Cecile.
Yes, miss. That's a nice young man of Miss Virginia's.
I guess so. If he wasn't, Miss Virginia wouldn't bother with him.
Does she plan to marry him?
I never discuss things that aren't my business. If you want to stay here, I suggest you don't be so curious.
Well, just the same, I think this is a crazy house. And what about those murders? Jules here says there's been a lot of them, and nobody's ever been able to find out who did the killings.
You talk too much, Jules.
But I only said that...
Excuse me, Mr. Seal. Come, I'll show you where we keep our linens.
Mrs. Kessler. I brought you your dinner. Oh, please, Mrs. Kessler, I gotta go home.
Home? I want to go home, too.
Oh, but you are home. And as soon as you feel better, I'm going to take you to your husband and daughter.
But they never write to me.
Oh, but they don't know where you are, Mrs. Kessler. Nobody knows that but me. You see, I found
I'm
you.
running away. We're running away in a car. We're going faster, faster, faster. We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. I can't go home now. Can I?
Mrs. Kessler, please. Please eat your dinner. I've got to go home. I'll be back in the morning. Good night, Mrs. Kessler. Good night.
You're late again, Jules.
I'm sorry, Mama, but I just couldn't get away from her.
Jules, why don't you tell Mr. Kessler about his wife, that you're hiding her?
Oh, I haven't got the heart, Mama. It would kill him if he saw her the way she is.
Poor thing. She'd be better off if she died with that man when that car was wrecked.
I guess so.
Jules, I've been thinking, maybe she had something to do with all these horrible murders.
Oh, she wouldn't hurt nobody. She's like a child. She's still dazed from the accident, you know, amnesia. But she'll be better soon. Then I'll take her home. But if they found out I've been hiding her, they might think I had something to do with the murder.
Jules, you must tell Mr. Kessler.
Oh, no, Mama. We must never tell anyone. Never.
Sure you won't come in?
No, thanks, darling. I think I better run along.
Good night, Ralph.
Oh, Virginia, shall I put your car away?
No, thanks. Evans will take care of it.
All right. Night.
Put my car in the garage when you have a moment.
Yes, miss.
The only chance I had to see you. You ignored my letters and my telephone calls. Did you think that you could get rid of me as easy as all that?
Be quiet. They'll hear you.
You bet they will. And you're going to listen to me, too. I'm not giving up to that Kessler girl or anybody else.
But this is different, Cecile. I never said I loved you.
Are you in love with her?
Yes.
Well, you're not marrying her, understand?
Nothing's going to stand in the way of my happiness. Not even...
And besides, I'll make you a good wife, Ralph. I promise I will.
Guess what?
What?
I'm in love.
Ralph? Well, that's it.
Good night, Evans.
Good night, Miss Virginia. Can I do anything for you, sir, before I retire?
What happened to your hand, Evans?
Oh, nothing, sir. I hurt it when I was putting Miss Virginia's car in the garage.
Put anything on it?
Oh, the bandage.
Oh, you may have an infection.
How's that? Just like new, sir.
I guess I'll eat for a while. Good night, Evans.
Good night, sir.
Oh, yes, Evans. Thank you for the dinner.
Yes, sir.
I'm afraid to come home. You'd kill me. You'd kill anybody.
Why, Mr. Kistler.
Exercise number 1. Stand erect. Arms at the side. At the count of 1, close hands.
Cecile!
The fists on the chest. At the count of 2, push arms stretched on the head. At the count of 3, lower arms sideways.
If it's exercise you want, there's plenty of it in the kitchen.
At the count of 4, lower the arms to starting position.
Cecile!
Hands straight. Arms at side. Ready. Begin. 1, up, down. 1, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, up, down. 1, 2.
Mr. Kessler.
Yes?
Something terrible has happened. I tried to wake the new maid. I think she's dead.
Dead? How did it happen?
I don't know, sir. I thought she was taking her exercises.
Call the police. I'll see what I can do.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Kessler, we're up to our ears in another one. The girl was killed the same way as the chauffeur 6 months ago. The only thing we could find was this note left by some fellow who wanted to give her the air.
It's terrible, Lieutenant. She was so young.
If we could find out who killed Cecile, we have the one who committed all the other murders.
That's easier said than done. There's never been fingerprints, to say nothing of motives. What gets me, Mr. Kessler, is why you refuse to move out of this place.
Sentimental reasons.
There's nothing very sentimental about a house where anything could happen and usually does.
My mother lived here, Lieutenant.
Oh, I see. You're the gardener?
Yes, but I wasn't here. I went home early. You see, I live with my wife.
All right. And please don't try to see me. Signed, Ralph.
Ralph?
Do you know him?
Oh, I'm certain I don't. Well, the name startled me. I'm practically engaged to a Ralph.
Did you notice anything unusual last night, Evans?
Well, maybe I better not say.
Let's have it, Evans.
When I was putting the roaster in the garage, I saw Cecile talk to Mr. Dixon. That's Miss Virginia's Ralph.
Go on.
I didn't mean to listen, but they were talking loud. Then I heard him say that he never loved her. And she said she wasn't going to let him marry anyone else. And that made him real mad. And said nothing was going to stand between him and his happiness. Not even her.
I knew Cecile a couple of years. She offered me the companionship I needed. Then I met you and fell in love for the first time.
I love you too, Ralph.
Surely you can account for your activities from the time you left our house until the next morning.
No, Mr. Kessler. I had a lot to think about. I took a long ride into the country, didn't stop anywhere, and didn't see a soul I knew.
It's most unfortunate.
All I know is that I didn't kill her.
There isn't any doubt about that in our minds. Don't worry, son. We do everything we possibly can.
Order! Order in the courtroom. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I managed the apartments where Ralph Dixon lived. Miss Mannix came there often. As a matter of fact, I thought they were married.
I went home early and helped my wife with the house cleaning.
The coroner's testimony should convince you that the defendant had sufficient reason for wanting to be rid of the victim.
It's the truth. Said he would let nothing stand in the way of his happiness. Not even her.
We're doing everything we possibly can. Tomorrow we're going to see the governor. And I'm sure something can be done.
But, Governor, the man is innocent. If you would only grant a stay of execution.
If you knew him, you'd realize he couldn't possibly be a murderer.
I'm sorry. I've gone over the facts in the case, and unless you can present some new evidence, there's nothing I can do.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yes? I see. It's all over.
My name is Dixon.
Yes. Of course.
I'd like to see Mr. Kessler.
Man.
I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, Ralph.
Can't be.
Apparently, my brother never told you about me.
Come in.
I've been in South America. I flew here at once. However, I'm afraid it's too late to do any good.
So you're Ralph's brother. Who knew about you, but I never expected such a striking resemblance.
Sorry to have startled you.
And this is my daughter, Virginia.
How do you do?
Won't you join us?
I've had my dinner, thanks, but I would like to talk to you.
Do I look pale?
No. Huh?
I feel pale.
The buzz, Evans. What's the matter, you deef?
Did he have a good attorney?
Oh, one of the very best. He's handled all of Dad's legal affairs for years.
Evans, Mr. Dixon will have coffee with us.
Oh, I'm Ralph Dixon's brother.
Well, you sure had me going for a minute.
I realize how incriminating circumstantial evidence can be.
I can do, don't hesitate.
Oh, thank you.
I see that the room is put in order.
Sure I'm not troubling you?
No, not at all. Entertain Paul till I come back. Paul!
Yes?
I'll show you to your room.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I almost forgot. I must see Evans about breakfast.
Good night, Virginia.
Good night, Paul. Good night, Dad.
Come in. I hope you'll be comfortable. I sent for your luggage in the morning.
It's awfully nice of you, Mr. Kessler. Really, I hope
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, sir. Well, I guess I'll turn in. I haven't had much sleep the last couple of nights.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Operator, give me the police department. No. The body has not been touched. Yes. All right.
Good morning, Evans.
Good morning, Mr. Kessler.
Now, what's the matter?
The gardener, sir.
What?
He's been murdered.
Murdered?
Strangled. Well, here we go again. How long do you work for you?
Oh, about 3 years, I guess.
Ever say anything to you about having any enemies?
No, sir.
Were you home last night?
Yes, Lieutenant.
To your knowledge, did anybody come in or go out of the house during the course of the evening?
We have a house guest.
Why isn't he here?
I'll get him.
Oh, don't trouble yourself, Mr. Kessler. Where is he?
He's upstairs in his bedroom.
Let's have a look at him, Ryan.
Good morning.
You're wanted in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Am I seeing things?
He's Ralph's brother.
Why, he's the image of him.
How did this happen?
That's what we'd like to find out.
He was strangled, Paul. Would you mind if we go into the library?
No, that's all right. Better wait here for the coroner, Ryan. Not you, Evans.
Hey, where were you on the night of January the 13th?
Have you had your coffee yet?
No.
Well, I guess that's that. No clues, no fingerprints, no motive, nothing.
But surely if a man was choked to death, there would be imprints on his throat.
There weren't any on the Mannix girl.
Then they were killed the same way. Is that right?
That doesn't prove a thing, Dixon. All the others got it, and always the same way.
The coroner's here.
Okay. I'll be right back.
What does he mean by the others?
Just that. Others have been killed here.
Why in the world do you stay in this place?
We can't leave.
Oh, Evans.
Your luggage, sir. I'll put them in your room.
What about these other murders?
I'll put your luggage in your room, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Well, that'll be a change anyhow. What's bothering you?
As a rule, I'm not a very curious person, but,
I was beginning to get you, huh?
in a way, yes. What about these other murders?
Well, there's been quite a lot of them, Dixon. Some of the best brains in the department have tried to solve them. But we always run up against a stone wall.
Weren't the other murders brought out in my brother's trial?
That was different. That was a cut-and-dried case.
Why haven't the police closed the house?
Oh, we tried to, but Mr. Kessler took it to court. Carries a lot of weight around here. Does a lot of good, too.
You think he'd want to leave?
I guess he's waiting for his wife to come back. She left him several years ago. An awful scandal at the time. Front-page stuff and all that.
Poor devil. He didn't have a chance.
Well, I guess I'll be running along. Glad I met you, Dixon.
Good day, Lieutenant. Well, this isn't a very pleasant way to entertain a guest.
You know, Mr. Kessler, I have a feeling that somehow or other these mysterious murders are going to be cleared up, and quickly, too.
Nothing would please me more.
Your wife?
Yes.
She's beautiful.
I rarely talk about her, but I think about her constantly.
She has eyes like Virginia.
Her hair, her skin, they were the loveliest I've ever seen. I hope you have the pleasure meeting her. She'll be back someday.
Hello there.
Paul was admiring your mother's picture.
Father's a sentimentalist.
He has every right to be.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes? Just a moment, please. It's for you, Dad.
Thank you. Yes? Yes, I guess I can. Yes. Oh, in about 20 minutes, I'd say. Surely. Goodbye. I'll see you children later. Business. Sorry. That's the only information I can give you, Mr. Kirby. Have you notified his wife?
Yes, Mr. Kessler. Poor thing, she took it quite hard.
It's terrible. Oh.
I want to see the coroner.
Yes?
I'm Jules' wife. Where have they taken him?
In there, Mrs. Mason.
If you please, sir. May I have one moment alone with him? I won't ever see him again.
Well, yes, I guess so.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Mason. Mrs. Mason. You'd better take her out, Mr. Kirby.
He's alive.
What?
He's alive. I saw him move.
I'll get the hospital. You'll be all right, Mrs. Mason.
He's not dead.
The doctor will be here any minute.
Jules.
Please, Mrs. Mason. Jules, listen to me. Did you recognize the man who tried to kill you?
It's been a terrific shock to see him come back to life.
Yes, it was. Just a few moments longer, they would have known who the assailant was.
I don't like to bring up the subject, Mr. Kessler, but these murders, did they ever happen in the daytime?
No, I don't believe so.
I see.
You evidently have some reason for asking.
Not particularly. I was just curious about that one point.
Yes, sorry dinner is late tonight, sir, but the new cook is having quite a time getting started.
That's all right.
No, they're just full of trash and murders and stuff.
What you don't know, well, it's all right. Here's your pepper salt.
Thanks.
Well, Paul, I'm afraid you have me cornered.
You still have a couple of moves, Mr. Kessler.
You've met your equal, Dad.
Oh, your father just got himself into a bad position.
You're going to be restored. It's your game, Paul.
Want to play another?
No, thank you. Not tonight. It's getting late.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
But may I speak to you a moment, please?
Oh, yes, certainly.
The cook wants to...
Why, she just came.
She feels as if her work is unsatisfactory. She had so much trouble with dinner tonight.
Why, that's ridiculous. Oh, I understand. It's her first day. I'll speak to her.
I'll say goodnight, Mr. Kessler. Think I'll turn in. Thanks for the game.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, Dad.
Good night, child.
I'll walk up with you, Paul.
Oh, glad to have your company. It's a long, lonesome climb up those stairs all alone.
Where are you going, Marie? You can't leave us after cooking such an elegant dinner.
Did you really like it, Mr. Kessler?
Why, I never tasted anything to equal that roast beef. Besides, you can't go now. It's going to rain in a minute.
Are you sure you want me to stay?
Certainly, Marie.
Well, I like it here, but I thought...
Oh, then it is settled.
Oh, wait till you taste my apple pie, Mr. Kessler.
Apple pie? My, that will be a treat.
Oh, let me take this. You might as well unpack your things,
Yes,
Marie.
sure. Thank you, sir.
Not at all, Marie. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Kessler. Oh, he's a wonderful man.
Now, let's see. What did I do wrong?
Mr. Kessler? Mr. Kessler, are you ill?
What?
Something wrong?
I must have walked in my sleep.
Well, you did better than I. I couldn't sleep at all.
It's raining. Why don't you go to bed, Paul? I'm all right.
Is there anything I can do?
Nothing, Paul. Thank you. I think I'll read for a while. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Kessler. Well, you look like you had a good night's sleep, Mr. Kessler.
I was so tired when I got to bed, I don't even remember climbing in.
Dad! Who would do a thing like that?
I wonder if anyone was hurt.
Nothing could have hurt my father more.
It's unquestionably the work of a madman.
You all right, Evans?
Yes, sir, Mr. Kessler. Good morning, sir.
Where is the new cook?
She says she'll go shopping first thing this morning.
Have you looked in your room?
No, sir. Something wrong, Mr. Kessler? There's a valise. She didn't leave.
I'm not worried about that. When did she tell you she's going to the market?
Last night before she went to bed.
Do you think there's any connection between this and what has happened before?
I don't know.
Rest of the house yet?
No, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Kessler.
Oh, Marie. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
Thank you. I wonder why he was so glad to see me.
Mr. Kessler thought you had been murdered.
Oh, he's so sweet. I'm going to start to make that apple pie. Murdered?
I can't imagine who would do a thing like that.
I'll get it.
Good morning, Miss Kessler.
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
That happened last night.
Didn't it fall?
No. Find me the person who did it and you've got your murderer.
Nobody came into this house last night. Ryan and his boys were stationed outside.
Lieutenant. Oh, Lieutenant.
It's running.
Then you didn't hear any noises during the night?
No, but there's funny things going on around here.
Meaning what?
Well, this happened 3 back. It was gone.
No. You ought to hire a detective to watch it.
That's what you get for being such an excellent cook.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, Lieutenant. Yeah? You got something? I don't know. I found this in the picture.
Anybody else know about it?
No, I wanted to speak to you first.
Okay. I'll see if I can match it. Keep the others downstairs.
Why not?
I agree.
Is this yours, Mr. Kessler?
Yes. Why?
I thought I'd seen it on you. Found it in Evans's room.
Well, there's nothing strange about that.
There wouldn't be, Mr. Kessler.
Oh, it's incredible. You're just trying to make a case.
Well, somebody's been doing these killings. Ryan didn't die of heart failure. Don't forget that.
When did you give Evans that robe, Mr. Kessler?
I don't remember giving it to him at all. But naturally, when my things need mending, he just picks them up.
I don't care how he got it. He had it and he used it on that picture. I'm going to talk to him.
Just a minute, Lieutenant.
Yeah?
If Evans is the man we want, it strikes me you've got to have more evidence.
Now, everybody wants to be a detective.
Now, wait a minute. Perhaps Paul has some suggestion.
All right, go ahead. What is it?
Without doubt, the murderer is insane. The picture tells us that. I believe we should call in a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist?
You still got the robe. But before Evans is accused, I'm definitely in favor of giving him a sanity test. What do you say, Lieutenant?
Okay. Maybe I better take one myself. All we want to know is if the fellow's crazy.
That's very easy to determine. Shall we make the examination here?
If you don't mind, Doctor. Please tell Evans I want to see him and then go up to your room.
Go to my room.
Is it possible, Doctor, for a man to be normal, say, for 2 or 3 months at a time, then go completely insane for an hour or two?
Yes, quite common.
This should be most interesting.
Now what?
A fuse must have blown.
I light the candles.
The fuse burned out, Miss Virginia.
Oh, thank you. My father wants to see you, Evans. He's in his room.
Yes, miss.
That'll have to do, gentlemen, until the lights are fixed.
I'll be in my room, Evans.
Yes, miss. I'm sorry, Mr. Kessler, but we ran out of fuses. I sent Marie over to the store to get some more, sir.
That's all right, Evans. Sit down.
Pardon me, sir.
Oh, go ahead, Evans. Sit down. We want to talk to you.
All right, sit down.
Do you want to speak to me, sir?
This gentleman would like to ask you a few questions, Evans.
Yes, sir?
Do you know these men?
Yes, sir?
What's this gentleman's name?
Mr. Kessler. Mr. Charles Kessler, sir.
Would you say that Mr. Kessler is out of his mind?
I don't understand you.
Would you say that he is insane?
No, sir.
Well, young lady, what are you doing here?
You can't take it. You can't take it. It's mine, I tell you.
Okay, sister, it's yours.
Leave me alone. I'm going home. Home to my husband.
You live, too.
You do?
Sure.
But I'm dead, you understand? I'm dead.
Of course you are. I'll take you where you want to go. Now you just come with me, young lady.
Tell me, Evans, do you think this man is crazy?
Now, don't ask him that, Doc. I'm beginning to have doubts myself.
Please, Lieutenant.
Oh, all right, all right. Am I crazy?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I know that woman. She's wicked. She can't go home.
Yes. Yes, I know. She's bad. Now you come with me. There we are.
Ever see this before?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing with it last night?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Look what we found.
Miss Kessler.
I'm dead, Charles. Do you hear me? I'm dead. You'd kill me. You'd kill anybody.
It's Kessler. Take her out, quickly.
Back in there. Close that door.
Now you...
What happened here?
We've got the murderer.
Evans.
No, Mr. Kessler. You.
I knew you'd come back. Nothing can part us now, my darling.
Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Ah, good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Good night. Good night! Ah! Help! Help! Murder! Police! Help! Oh, Mr. Stevens! Peter! Help! 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 It's after me! Oh! Help! Help! Police! Help! Help! It's after me! Stevens! Mr. Stevens! Oh! Help! Help! Police! Oh! Oh! Help! Oh! Help! No!
Well, Kitty, what is all this racket about?
Oh, Peters! Oh, Peters! I saw him! I saw him! He's here in this house! He almost killed me! The gorilla! The gorilla! Oh, it was awful! He got hold of me!
Quiet, you have been dreaming.
Oh, no.
What's that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know anything. Call the police. Call Mr. Stevens. He'll kill somebody.
Be quiet, can't you?
No, I can't. I can't. Still, he will all be murdered. Mr. Stevens! Mr. Stevens!
You calling me, Kitty?
Oh, Mr. Stevens! We'll all be murdered in our beds. It's that gorilla fellow the papers are so full of. The killer! He was just up in my room.
Oh, no, come, Kitty, you're hysterical.
Oh, no, sir, I ain't hysterical. I've seen him, like I said, sir.
Now, Kitty, you're imagining things. Just you go back to bed.
That's what I said, sir. Oh. The gorilla's paw.
No!
Shall I call the police, sir?
Police? Yes, call them right away. Just a minute. I'll handle this my own way.
Yes, sir, only...
Only what?
I was thinking of the time, sir.
Time?
According to the newspapers, the gorilla gives his victim only 24 hours' notice.
Oh, nonsense. Now, you go back to bed and don't worry about this.
Back to bed? Who, me?
Oh, don't go back to bed. I'm not particularly interested where you go.
Oh, but Mr. Stevens.
Kitty.
Yes, but...
Hello. Oh, now, come, please. Just a minute. That'll be all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but...
I wouldn't be frightened like that if I were you, Kitty.
Look, you be frightened any way you want. This is my way.
Hello? I begged you not to telephone me here. Yes, I know I promised, but you gave me until Monday. Saturday? Tomorrow? That's impossible. I can't possibly raise that amount of money. Yes, I know I owe it you, but $250,000. Be reasonable. Now, please be patient. I have a plan, but it's only just started. Give me time to work it out, and I'll repay you dollar for dollar. Hello. I want to send a radiogram, please.
To whom is the radiogram going, please?
Miss Norma Denby, Diaz in Denver, aboard SS Paris. Regret unable to meet you at boat. Vitally important that I see you at my home tomorrow evening without fail. Sign it fondly, Uncle Walter. Read that back, please.
I'm Norma Denby.
Mr. Stevens is expecting you, Miss Denby. May I take your coat?
Oh, no, thank you. I'll keep it on.
Nice, cozy little place your uncle has here.
He likes it.
He'd have to live in it.
This way, please.
Well, 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 if it isn't the prodigal niece.
This is Jack, Uncle Walter.
This niece of mine isn't much of a correspondent. What few letters she did write, though, were full of you. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you, and I hope you'll excuse me for barging in like this.
Nonsense, I'm delighted. I was more than pleasantly surprised to hear that you set your marriage for June. Do you realize it's only a month away?
Well, we decided we didn't want to rush things too much, so...
So we put it off until...
the day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow?
Does that startle you?
Why, no, that's fine. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. But I'm forgetting my role as host. Sit down, my dear, sit down. We may as well come to the point.
Perhaps you'd rather talk to Norma alone, Mr. Stevens.
Oh, no, not at all. As Norma's future... As Norma knows, she and I were named joint heirs under the terms of her father's will. And until she marries, I'm the executor of her estate. But should anything happen to either of us, why then the survivor inherits the entire estate. And I think that you, Norma, and you, Jack, as her future husband, should know of what that estate consists. To that end, I prepared a record of the estate's holdings. And I want to talk it over with you both after dinner.
But your radiogram said there was something urgent.
Well, if it hadn't been urgent, I wouldn't have sent it.
Something's worrying you. What is it, Uncle Walter?
Well, perhaps I'm unduly alarmed, but last night I received this note of warning from the gorilla.
The gorilla?
You mean that murderer, the one the papers have been so full of?
I do.
But isn't it possible that this is all just a joke, that someone's playing a prank on you?
I wish I could think so.
But, Uncle Walter, why should he or anyone want to kill you?
I don't know. Oh, it's possible that some old enemy of mine, I admit I've made enemies in my day, it's possible that one of them, in the spirit of revenge, has hired this maniac, this professional killer, or whatever the gorilla is.
This note is exactly like the one that was in the newspapers after he murdered that widow.
Still, I can't bring myself to believe it. Of course, you've notified the police.
No, I haven't.
But surely, if there was anything in all this...
I've taken other precautions. Peters and I are armed. And in addition, I've engaged the services of a person who is no ordinary murderer at all. And judging by his past, shall we say, successes, it is apparent that the workings of the police were an open book to him. Of course, there's a slim chance that by not notifying the police, we might upset his plans.
Ordinarily, I'm not easily frightened, but I must admit this whole affair is giving me the creeps.
Well, it's nearly 9 o'clock, and I suppose you freshen up a bit. We talk it over after dinner. Oh, Kitty, show Miss Denby to the green room and Mr. Marsden to my room.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, Uncle Walter.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Stevens.
Yes, Kitty?
Oh, I know it's customary to give notice.
Why, Kitty, you're not trying to tell me you're going to leave me.
Oh, no, sir. I'm trying to tell you I have left you.
But, Kitty, you're perfectly safe here. Besides, we have guests. You haven't the heart to leave me now.
Well, my heart is willing, but I'm going to have an awful time trying to convince the rest of my body.
I'll bet there's a dead body in every room.
That body won't hurt you.
Can't do you any good.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Let's go.
Who'll get it?
You! You're terrific tonight, Chief.
Make a note of that. Keep doing that once in a while. It keeps me on edge and thinking.
Right. Now, what do you suppose they want detectives for?
I've got an idea. Let's go in and find out.
You're terrific.
The joint's a speakeasy.
Who are you?
Me? Peter, sir.
Never mind that, never mind that. What's your name?
Peter, sir.
Just a minute, just a minute. Where were you last night?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, so you did do something.
I don't like your looks.
What's that got to do with it? This is no beauty contest. Who's Stevens?
I am.
I'm Harrigan.
I'm Mulligan.
I'm Garrity.
Harrigan, Mulligan, Garrity. I sent for you because I need protection. My life's been threatened.
Now tell me.
Coming from the gorilla.
That's well. You've got nothing to worry about. Mark that down, Garrity. Right. How do you spell gorilla? 2 R's or 2 L's? Gorilla, gorilla. G-O-R-G-G-G-O. G-O. Gorilla. Did you say gorilla?
Why, gentlemen, you're not afraid.
No, we're not afraid. We just thought maybe if we... Thank you very much. The gorilla coming here? It was nice to have met you, Mr. Stevens. Quiet! Quiet!
I've already taken the precaution of arming my servant and myself. And I think you'll find that every door and window is securely bolted.
I couldn't have done better myself. With us on the job, Mr. Stevens, you've got nothing to worry about.
What's your plan, Mr. Harrigan?
Well, first we'll take a look around the house. Come on, then. Now, you just sit tight, Mr. Stevens. The gorilla will get you over our dead bodies. Dead bodies.
Jack,
Yes, darling?
who are those men?
Probably the detectives your uncle hired.
Jack, I'm terribly worried. What are we going to do?
Well, it seems there isn't anything we can do yet. Listen, darling, it isn't that I'm trying to appear skeptical. It's just that, well, somehow I can't make myself believe all this.
But that note, you saw the note.
Of course I did, but still Look, darling, we'll wait. We'll wait and see if something really does happen.
But what if it does?
I just don't believe it will.
Jack.
Excuse me, sir. I tried to put your car away, but unfortunately, there's something wrong with it.
What do you mean?
It won't start. Excuse me, sir.
Gives me the creeps.
He doesn't exactly give me an appetite either. I wouldn't let him worry me if I were you.
Honestly, darling, don't you think there's any cause for alarm?
I'm afraid I don't.
Oh, there you are. Another sherry before dinner?
Thank you, no.
Uncle Walter, how long have you had that butler?
Not very long. Why?
Well, are you sure he's all right?
I found him so. Why?
Well, because
Dinner is served, sir.
Oh. Shall we go in?
You'd better drink a little of that, Kitty. It quiets your nerves.
Why, can you hear them? Oh, here, take it. What my nerves really need is a good long trip.
Here.
Oh,
Now, look here. Where were you last night?
me? Why,
Answer yes or no.
I
What were you doing there?
Doing where?
Well, how do we know? Besides, I don't like your looks.
Did you ever take a good look at yourself?
Yeah, did you ever take a look? Here, now, wait a minute, you. Where were you last night?
I spent the night with Shakespeare.
Yeah? Where is he?
He's dead.
Dead? A murder mystery. Have you any idea who did it?
Look, Shakespeare's been dead hundreds of years.
Hundreds. This is a fine time to call us in on the case. Say, but she couldn't have done it. How do you know? She can't be hundreds of years old. That's right. Mark that down, Garrity. Yeah, what do we do now, Chief? Well, you two have a look out there. I'll look here. Yeah. What's this?
That's a door. It leads to the back stairs.
Backstairs. Well, remind me to have a look up there sometime.
That's an ironing board.
Yes. That's an ironing board. Look, do you want this thing?
Certainly we want it. What do you think we iron on?
Yeah, well, I see. Well, here, take it!
Harrigan! Come in here! We found it!
You found what?
The mystery.
Well, that's hash.
Ain't that a mystery? Some pretty good tightly, Chief.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
I'm afraid, gentlemen, you won't find the gorilla in there.
Why will we not find the gorilla in there?
Now listen, you. Let that be a lesson to you.
Perhaps you gentlemen had better look outside for clues.
Maybe he killed Shakespeare.
Mark that down, Garrity.
Yeah.
Look, how do you get out of here?
That's what I'd like to know.
And where's the back door?
In back of you.
In back of me. Oh. Oh. Back we go.
Don't you recall that the paper said the gorilla always sends a warning to as many as half a dozen people at the same time to sort of throw the police off?
Maybe that's what he's doing now. Perhaps it's just a ruse.
Well, shall we have liqueurs in the study?
Peter's alive, quickly!
Jack! What is it? What happened? Uncle Walter, are you hurt?
I know. No. I don't know what happened.
Look here. It seems to have been thrown in through that window.
Oh, Uncle Walter, what are we going to do?
The first thing we're going to do, or rather Jack is going to do, is to take you away from here.
Well, you're coming with us. Ah! It's him! It's him! Uncle Walter!
Who is it?
Oh, it's all right. It's one of those detectives. Did you give me a turn?
Did you see that face? I'll bet when he gets drunk, snakes see him.
What's the matter with you scaring us half to death?
I'm just trying to let you know I'm not the gorilla.
This is my niece, Miss Denby, and her fiancé, Mr. Marsden. Harrigan, Mulligan, and Garrity. This matter seems to be much more serious than I thought. I've just received this from the gorilla.
A note. Who brought it?
No one brought it. It was thrown in through that window.
Through that window? Through that window. He's right.
Wait a minute.
This is my good ear. Oh, say, that's right. You can't kid us. We were outside patrolling the grounds.
What do you mean?
Why, that note couldn't have come through that window.
But why not?
Well, I'll just show you. Stand back, man. That's why.
But it was wrapped around a stone.
A stone? A stone? Well, why didn't you say so? Anyway, what do you know about this thing?
Well, I don't know anything about it. We were preparing to leave the room, and suddenly the lights went out, and then there was a crash, and...
Oh, so the lights went out. Make a note of that, Garrity.
Right. You were outside a few minutes ago. Didn't you see anybody?
Nobody but us.
Say, this note says at midnight.
At midnight?
Yeah.
What time is it now? It's 10:30.
I got 11:10.
I got 11:30.
It's exactly 11:45.
Remind me to put some hands on this watch.
Yes. Well, make a note of that, Garrity.
Right.
Now, look, the gorilla's after Stevens. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Everybody into the study.
Come on, let's go.
Who said that if you give a criminal enough rope, he'll hang himself?
You, Chief.
Oh, that's where I heard it before. Oh, come on. Now that you're all here, I don't want anybody to move. Understand?
Is it all right if I breathe?
Yes, but come right back. Quiet.
Personally, I don't believe the gorilla's coming here.
Neither do I.
Why not?
I'll give you 3 good reasons, pal. Harrigan, Mulligan, and Garrity.
It ain't enough.
Now, look here. I don't want to have your troubles. Yeah, you wait a minute. I'll handle this.
Yeah, but you're...
Now, listen,
You have received the gorilla's warning, Walter Stevens. You've just 5 minutes to live.
Oh, Uncle Walter. Jack.
Excuse me.
Here. Now, where are you going?
I'm getting out of here.
There's no door there.
Oh, that's all right. I'll make one. Goodbye.
Oh, get it over there. Quiet! Quiet, everybody! Did you hear that?
I wish I didn't.
He's up there, man! Where are you going? I said he's up there.
That's what I thought you said.
Oh, quiet. All right, man. Follow me. Stick him up. I got you covered.
What happened? What was it?
Nothing at all.
Hey, did you just pass here?
Yes. Yes, of course. I brought a trunk down from the attic.
A trunk?
Yes.
Were we here?
I couldn't say.
Well, maybe we're not here now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's 2 minutes of 12. What about Uncle Walter?
Uncle Walter, yes. Uncle Walter, we're just going in. Now, everybody! Stay just where you are. Mulligan, you watch those doors. Gary, you watch that one. Mr. Stevens, you've got nothing to worry about.
I wish I thought so.
Me too.
You have 1 more minute, Walter Stevens.
I can't stand it any longer. I can't. You've got to call the police. You've got to.
Mr. Stevens, I'm sorry, but Norma's right. I don't know what this is all about, but certainly if there's something to it, the police ought to know about it.
I no longer know what to think. Perhaps you'd better.
Hello? Hello? Phone, something wrong.
It's me!
Uncle Walter, he's gone.
Gone? How can he be gone when every door and window in this room has been locked? Mulligan, check those windows.
Yeah.
Gary, check the door. How did you get in here?
Why, through this door, sir.
How can you when the doors are locked?
I beg your pardon. It was not locked.
I locked it myself. It is locked. That leaves us deadlocked.
It would be impossible for me to walk through the woodwork.
Why? Termites do.
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere.
Now leave everything to me. The gorilla ain't gonna make a monkey out of me. Now you. Come on, boys. Where do these stairs lead to?
To the bedrooms.
Mulligan, Gary, you have a look upstairs. Marsden, you come with me. We'll have a look around the grounds. You two look in the servants' wing.
With the gorilla prowling around, not me.
Well,
Well, all right, then come with me.
Oh, never mind. I'll take my chances with the other gorilla.
Wait a minute. We can't leave Miss Denby here alone.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know, but I wish I could think of something.
Me too. Oh, go on.
Don't worry, darling.
Oh, that's all right. I'll do all the worrying.
Marsden, come with me. Oh, you first, sir. Thank you very much.
Why couldn't this have all happened tomorrow?
What difference would that make?
Tomorrow's my day off.
Poor Uncle Walter. Right from under our very eyes. I don't understand how he got out of here.
All that's worrying me is how I'm going to get out of here. Oh, it's him! It's him! I seen him! It's the gorilla! I seen him!
What's up?
I seen him! It's the gorilla! I tell you, he's in that closet there!
Oh, Jack, I'm so frightened.
All right, come on out of there, you. Get him, Mulligan. You heard him, Garrity. What did he say?
Are you sure it wasn't an hallucination?
Not unless an hallucination has hair on it.
Come on. Now, ready? Yeah, Jeff.
Oh, is he dead?
Who is he?
I never seen him before.
Do you know him?
No, sir, and this is no time for no introductions.
He's not dead.
Hey, mark that down, too.
Right. Come on, darling. We're getting out of here. I'm afraid now, too, for you.
Hey, I'm afraid not, too, for me.
Oh, Jack, it's horrible. I don't know what to make of it.
Now, all I can say is that. And if you all look, we'll find him somewhere. Where are you going?
Somewhere.
All right, men. Take him upstairs.
Come on, Garrity.
You, lead the way.
Oh. I'll take care of him. Kitty, get a basin of hot water.
Do you mind if I go out of town to get it?
You and I have a look around the house.
Wait a minute. There's something funny about this. Kitty said she saw the gorilla's arm. We open the closet and find the sailor's body. Now, how did the body get in there? And how did the gorilla get out without our seeing him?
That's just what I was about to ask you.
Stevens was sitting right here in this chair until the lights went out.
Ooh, gorilla, la la. Nah.
That's funny.
What's funny?
Nothing. I think I'll have a look around this house.
Have a look around the house? Yes, we'll have a look around the house. Yeah, I'll go too.
Hey, that guy won't talk.
Why not?
He's still unconscious.
You're unconscious and you talk.
That's great, Chief.
Mark that down, Garrity.
Right. What do we do now?
Well, first we'll have to reenact the crime.
Well, how do we do that?
Now, let's see. When the lights went out, Stevens was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
You're Stevens. Sit down.
I'm Steve.
Mulligan, close the doors. Hey, I'm Garrity. You're Stevens. Now sit down. I'll wait for lights. 1, 2, 3. It's no use. I don't know it works for Sherlock Holmes. I don't know why it don't work for me.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. He's gone.
Is he gone? Gone. Garrity! Garrity! Now we have 2 mysteries to solve.
Look, I've got an idea.
What is it?
If we can find out how Garrity disappeared, we'll find out what happened to Stevens.
It's a very good idea. Should have thought of that myself. All right, we'll reenact the crime. Sit down.
But I'm not tired.
You have to be tired to sit down?
I do.
You make me tired.
Well, then, why don't you sit down?
If I sit down, who's going to work the lights?
I never thought of that.
Yeah, well, sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Sit down.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Mulligan! Mulligan!
Did you lose something?
Yes, Mulligan and Garrity. Make a note of that. Now look, sit down.
Oh, I don't want to sit down.
You don't have to want to. You'll sit down and like it.
Well, all right, I'll sit down, but I won't like it.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
What I'm going to do ain't important.
Well, what am I going to do?
That's just what I want to find out. One, 2, 2 and 2, 3.
Did I hear somebody scream?
Well, if you didn't, you ought to have your ears cleaned out. Say, where's Mr. Harrigan? The detective! He's disappeared!
Disappeared? What a pity.
Pity? Why, it's entirely... How did you get in here? Why, you... Oh!
But don't be frightened. You're safe with me.
Safe with you, my eye. Who wants to be safe? Now, look, I'm very sociable. I want to go where there's people.
Hey, what's the matter? What's happened? Oh, look. I'm standing here, and all of a sudden, everything goes black. Next thing I know, I'm here.
That's funny. Hello. Hello, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. No, you turn on Willow Drive. Off Highway 22, and hurry, will you? Thank you.
Look, it ain't human, I tell you. It ain't human.
What isn't human?
For a guy to be standing here 1 minute, and the next minute, he's gone.
Who's gone?
I'm gone. They're gone. Everybody's gone. It don't make sense.
Certainly doesn't. Will you have a cigarette?
I don't mind if I do. He kidnaps me right from under his very eyes.
Who does?
The gorilla!
Hey. Who are you? What do you want?
What are you doing here?
Listen, old man, you got me all wrong. I just came in to use the telephone. You see, my car broke down.
That phone?
Yeah.
Look, that phone is out of order.
Is it?
Yes.
Number, please?
Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way.
Now, wait a minute, you. You're the guy we're looking for. You're the gorilla.
Surely you don't think I'm the gorilla, do
I
you?
stopped thinking 2 hours ago.
But you don't understand.
I don't have to understand.
Shall I try it?
Oh, you've tried enough. Now get him up.
Listen, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, well, it won't be the first time. Oh, oh, oh. All right. All right, I got you covered. Help! Okay, shake him up. Shake him up. Oh. Oh, help! Help! Oh, help! Oh, help! Help! Oh. Help! Help! Help me!
What's the matter? What is it?
I got him, I tell you, I got him.
Got him where?
Yes, well, I did have him. Here, get me out of these. These are in my pocket. Get it right there. Oh, it was terrible. The gorilla.
How'd you get all tied up like this?
The gorilla, I tell you, it wasn't my fault. He came in and hit me. It was... Did I leave him in there? Oh.
Well, I'm Stevens. I'm Harry.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How'd you fellas get in there?
You tell me. What are you doing with those things on?
Oh, look. Fellow walks right in. It was the gorilla, I tell you.
Yeah?
He started to use that phone. But he didn't get very far. Not with me on the job.
Lucky thing for him, you had your handcuffs with you.
Well, where is he? Where'd he go?
Where is he? I'm the victim. How should I know? Look, boys, I'm telling you, he walked in. 6 of them. 6 big gorillas. They attacked me. Hit me right on my crawl. Go. Look at that lump.
Well, look at this lump. Look,
Yes,
right there.
it's awful.
These windows are locked from the inside. You're not kidding.
Kidding? With the gorilla right under my nose and a $10,000 reward, he says I'm kidding. Well, are you?
Who belongs to this?
What is it?
A coat.
Why, gorillas don't wear coats.
Sure they do. Fur coats.
Something screwy about all this.
Look, if there's anything screwy about this, it's me. It's me! But I'll soon find out. Each of you grab a wall.
What do we do with it?
Mulligan, you take that one. Marsden, you take that one. I'll take that one.
I'll set this one out.
You'll set nothing out. Tap, each one of you. See if you can find some trap doors. Oh, must be out there. Come on, man.
Right out here.
All right, cover the door, man. What's the matter with all of you? Are you deaf? I've been pounding on that door for the last 10 minutes. Who are you? That's right. Who are you? Never mind who I am. I want to know where Walter Stevens is. Oh, you want to know where Mr. Stevens is, huh? He wants to know where Walter Stevens is. Who do you think we're looking for? I didn't come here to play games. I want to see Walter Stevens and want to see him right now.
But you don't understand. These gentlemen are detectives.
Detectives? Bah! What are you trying to pull on me? I talked to Stevens on the telephone last night. He told me he had a plan to pay his debt.
Plan?
Yes, said he'd only just started working on it.
But did he tell you what this plan is?
I wasn't interested. He was to square up with me here tonight. When I talked to him, he wanted a couple of days more to raise the money that he owes me. Now, where is he?
Well, Mr. Stevens has been kidnapped by the gorilla.
Kidnapped by Poppycock. Now, look here. I don't know who any of you are, but I do know this. Walter Stevens owes me $250,000. And I'm going to collect it tonight, or else.
Oh, no,
Wait
you
a
don't,
minute.
buddy. How do we know you're... Say, who are you anyway?
I'm one of Stevens' clients. I have proof that Stevens has been stealing from his clients' accounts for over a year. I gave him until tonight to return my money, and I'm not going to leave this house until I get it.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
Wait.
I think he's mad.
Jack, if what that man says is true, I don't believe Uncle Walter could...
It's almost impossible to know what to believe, darling. Yet things are adding up. If your uncle did have a plan, if this business of sending for you was part of the plan,
Take her upstairs and keep an eye on her. This has gone far enough. It's gone too far.
It's even going further than that.
I'll be all right. It's just too much excitement for one night.
Get your hat and coat, darling. I'm going to see that you get to town if I have to push the car all the way myself.
I can't go till we find Uncle Walter.
We'll take care of that. We'll break this case, won't we, boys? Well, won't we? Oh, sure we will, sure.
Like it was walnuts.
Yeah. You know, I feel sorry for that poor girl.
Yeah? What about poor us? Strange men zooming in and out, animals running around like this was a zoo. Crazy goings on. I want to go home.
Oh, so you want to go home? I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you! Do you want to take a run-out powder and leave that girl here to take the blame alone? We're detectives, aren't we?
Are we?
Haven't we looked all over this house?
Yes.
No. Where haven't we looked?
Well, if there's a cellar, we haven't looked there.
I'm glad I thought of that. Say, this looks like a cellar. What? It's locked.
Well, turn the key.
Oh, yes. Never thought of that. All right. Come on, men. Anybody down there?
Yes, we are.
I'll look for a switch.
It's around here somewhere.
All right, come on out of there, you. Come on, get out of there. All right, come on out of there, you. All right, come on out of there. Mulligan, where are you?
I'm right here, Chief.
Garrity, where are you?
Over here, Chief.
Is anybody with me?
No, you're alone.
Yeah. Awful. time I saw a mousetrap catch a piece of cheese.
Harrigan! Garrity! Come here and get me out of this. Get me out of this thing. What? Maybe you'd like a rat? Oh, come on. What are you doing? I want the ID sitting about it with you. Garrity! Harrigan! Garrity! Harrigan! Go away. Now, don't worry, I'll handle this. It's a pleasure. Don't worry about it. Okay, buddy. Come on, bud, get that raccoon coat off. Come on. Get that thing off. Look, when I hit you over the head with this thing... Well, we've been double-crossed. No!
Peters?
Yes, sir?
What's all that commotion?
Sounds like our friends, the detectives.
You stay here with Miss Denby. I'll go see what's up.
Cognac, Miss Denby?
No. No, thank you.
What's the matter? What's all the racket?
I got him, I tell you, I got him.
You got him? Got who?
Yes, the gorilla. He's in there. He's in there. I can hear him breathe.
That's you.
Oh, well, open it, open it.
Have you men been drinking?
No, but it's a good idea. What was that?
Norma, where are you? Lights, where?
Jack!
A couple of you get after him, quick.
You heard him. Make a hall. I'll go this way.
I'll stay here.
Is something wrong?
Well, where were you?
I just went to get some tea, sir.
Didn't I tell you to stay here with Miss Denby?
I'm very sorry.
What right do you got to think? We're not even thinking.
Miss Denby might have been... Why is it that something always happens when you're not here?
An unfortunate coincidence, sir.
What did you find? An empty closet with Harrigan in it. Harrigan, wake up. Get up. Wake up.
The gorilla. Did you get him? Did you get him?
No, he got you.
Well, it won't happen again. Okay, man. Follow me.
Okay.
Follow me. Get down and see where these stairs lead to.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, me. It's awful dark. I should have brought my glasses.
You never wear any glasses.
That's right, I forgot.
What's that funny tapping?
It's my knees.
It's a fine time to be scared.
You probably think of a better time.
Yeah, well...
Oh! I'll show this mug who's a mug. You fellas stick close behind me. If anything happens, leave it to me. I'll do all the talking.
Come on, man. People running in here out of day. All day long. I've never seen anything like this in all my life. First... Hey, where are you going? What's eating you? Hey, what have you got there? What? That dame must know something or she wouldn't be running away like that.
Make a note of that, Garrity.
Good evening.
Good evening. What do you want?
Don't be frightened.
Frightened? Who's frightened? Don't you come near me or I'll wrap this thing around your neck like it was a pretzel.
There's nothing to worry about.
That's what you think.
May I give you some advice?
No.
If I were you, I'd go to my room and stay there.
Oh, yes, sir. I was just planning on that.
Wait a minute. Where have you been?
No place. Honest, sir. I was just getting ready to go to town.
Good.
Ah, don't open that.
Why not?
The gorilla. He's in there.
Don't be silly.
Ah.
Come on, now. Get going.
Yes, sir. I'm practically there.
A man. It's a gorilla. We saw it and we felt it.
When I tell you the gorilla is a man, I ought to know. I've read enough about him.
But how could a monkey have possibly written those notes to Uncle Walter?
Maybe it's got an education.
Poe! 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 Where is he? Have any of you seen him?
Who?
Poe!
Who's Poe?
Poe's the gorilla.
The gorilla? Oh, you know him too, huh?
No, I trained him since he was that high. You're just the one we're looking for. Don't any of you understand? Poe is a gorilla, a trained gorilla.
A real gorilla?
Sure, a real gorilla.
So we don't know what we're talking about, eh?
Yeah, we know a monkey when we see one.
Listen, this is serious. Poe ain't no pet. There's no telling what he's liable to do when I ain't around. Especially with women. He hates women.
Well, what's he doing here? What are you doing here?
We was hired to come here. We're working at the county fair. Yesterday, a guy comes along. He says he wants me to bring Poe here. He says he's giving a party, wants us to put on a act.
Who hired you?
I don't know. I don't know nothing. All I know is I bring Poe here. We're waiting out in the...
And his body in the garage.
Oh, Jack.
All right, everybody. Follow me to the garage.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
He's gone. Poe's gone.
I tell you, he's in the kitchen.
The kitchen's a wreck. He must be on a rampage.
Out of my way, brother. I got my own troubles to worry about.
All right, all of you, out in the garage.
Come on.
I'll stay here and protect Miss Denby. This way, please.
I'll never forgive myself for not calling the police.
Why call the police with us around, lady?
You couldn't save Uncle Walter.
We couldn't, eh?
Well, you didn't, did you?
Well, that's right, we didn't. I gotta find out how that gorilla gets in and out of here. There must be a secret spring around here someplace. I think I'll look in back of these books.
Hey.
Somebody!
don't tell me she's the gorilla. I told you I didn't like her looks.
Oh, wise guy.
Come on, we gotta find the body.
What do I do with them keys?
Look under the mat.
That's funny.
Oh, very funny. Will you get me out of here?
Listen, what are you doing in Poe's cage?
What do you think I'm doing? Waiting for someone to feed me peanuts? Get me out of here!
Don't you know Poe hates women?
So does Kipling. So what? Will you please get me out of here? Open!
Right, all right. Don't get
Poe
excited.
hates women. What?
Say, wait a minute. I think this was a trick to get us out of the house. Come on.
Who are you anyway?
I'm the gorilla's keeper. You the dame give me a clunk on the head?
No, but it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah?
Look! He's got her.
Wait, don't go near him. He'll drop her. Poe! Bring it down, Poe. Bring it down to me. Down, Poe. Down to the ground. Put it down, Poe. Down, Poe. Down to the ground. Poe! Stop it, Poe. Bring it down, Poe. Bring it down to me. Put it down, Poe. Come on. Poe, come back here. Help me catch it.
Thank you. Oh, he hit me again. Right here, he hit. Oh.
Poe, let him alone. That's a fine way to treat me. After I give you the best years of my life, you act like that. Listen here. No kisses. He might have killed somebody.
What do you mean, might have?
It's all right, lady. I got him.
You can keep him.
Okay, scram and take this character with you. I was only kidding.
Just for that, he gets no C-A-N-D-Y.
Oh, that's just C-A-N-D-Y.
Sorry if I caused you any trouble, folks. And just for that, I don't read you the funny papers tonight. Put you in bed without any supper, you bad boy. Oh. You wait till I get you home. You have to wait till last of this. Go on.
Look at that.
Why, it's somebody's coat.
All right, come on out of there, buddy. So that's how I got clunked on the head. Come on out of there, you. All right, come on.
Look, it's opening.
Well, come on, but... Oh, so it's you.
Do you know him?
Do I know him? He's the guy I caught using the telephone.
There's no law against that.
Never mind law, buddy. Get him up.
Now, just a minute. Don't you think you're a little premature?
Premature? Well, I can't remember that far back.
Just who are you?
I'm Detective Coletti, an investigator for the Securities and Exchange Commission. And I'm on the trail of the gorilla just as you are.
A detective?
How do we know that?
Yes, we... what were you doing in there?
Investigating. I've been on this case for some weeks now. And I've discovered a little about the construction of this house that my good friend here don't seem to have found out yet.
What do you mean?
This house is a maze of secret panels. Now, undoubtedly, the voice of the gorilla came through that radio from someplace right in this house.
That means that if we find the wire leading away from the radio...
we'd at least find the gorilla's hideout.
Say, what's going on?
Uh-huh. Just as I thought. Here's the wire. Now, by tracing this, I think we may find the answer to this entire riddle. The wire goes in here. Back of this wall is the man we want.
We'll make a note of that, Gert.
Are you all armed?
Yes, I'm armed. Shh, quiet, you. Here it is.
There is your microphone, And as I expected, there's your gorilla.
Mr. Stevens, the gorilla?
Well, sure, I could have told you that all the time.
I guess the party is over, my gorilla friend.
Yeah, but who tied him up like that?
I don't know. He figured the game was up and that this would throw off suspicion. This is a homemade job. A child could have done it.
Ah, it's preposterous. Don't believe him. I never saw this man before in my life. It's insane.
Oh, now what's that? Oh, why is it with all the men in the house they have to leave us here with you?
Quiet.
Oh. What? Why, it's Mr. Stevens.
Alias the gorilla.
The gorilla? Him? Oh, I'll never trust another man if I live to be 1,000. You can make that 2,000.
Uncle Walter, the gorilla. I don't believe it.
I think I can make it very clear.
Oh, sure we can.
Now, first of all...
What's that?
Oh, I didn't hear a thing.
Neither did I, but what was it?
We'll soon find out.
Hey, what is this? Who hit me? What's going on around here?
It's that man again.
Oh, there you are. Kidnapped. Kidnapped by the gorilla.
Not kidnapped by the gorilla, Mr.
Conway. A.P. Conway.
The AP stands for ape.
Mr. Conway, this gentleman is the gorilla.
The gorilla?
But if Uncle Walter's the gorilla, I don't understand why he should send himself those notes of warning.
For two reasons. To keep you here and to throw off suspicion from himself. Miss Denby, under the terms of your father's will, if anything were to happen to you, who would inherit your estate?
Uncle Walter.
My hunch was right. Your uncle brought you here tonight to kill you for your money.
Well, at least he had a reason.
So that's why he wouldn't let us call the police.
That's exactly why.
But what about these men, these private detectives?
They almost speak for themselves. Do you think if Stephen's life had actually been threatened, he would have called in 3 morons such as these for protection?
Morons? Hey, wait a minute.
Right there in that closet, I saw his hand and his arm, and it was no optical confusion.
What you saw was this sleeve. Another ingenious little invention of Mr. Stevens.
It's a very cute little idea.
Well, that about clears the whole matter out. And since it stopped raining, I think I'd better go.
You're okay,
you're
buddy.
okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
Congratulations. Let me congratulate you. You were wonderful. Oh, no, you don't, buddy. Okay, folks. Say howdy to the gorilla.
Howdy.
All right, give out, or this moron is going to blow your brains out.
Well, you see, it was all that. Oh! Now, all of you stick your hands up. I'm the gorilla, all right. But the cops haven't been able to get me, so don't you half-wits get any crazy notions. And as for Mr. Stevens, he's just as crooked as I told you he was. The trouble with him is he talks too much and too loud. I got tipped off on what was going to happen here tonight. How he was going to pretend to be me. I was going to get the $250,000 and at the same time let him get the blame for all the gorilla murders. A little nervous tonight.
Drop that gun, and I advise you not to move.
Hello. Police station, quickly.
What is this? I thought the phone was out of order.
Maybe he paid his bill.
Hello? This is Walter Stevens speaking. Send a squad car to my house. We've got the gorilla.
Things are so mixed up around here that even the gorilla doesn't know who the gorilla is.
He's the gorilla. He's the gorilla. Do I know what I'm doing?
Look, what's going on here?
Don't look so sad, darling. Your uncle isn't a crook, and our estate's all safe and sound now.
You know, you never can tell. This is liable to wind up to be a mystery.
You see, the gorilla murders were threatening to bankrupt our insurance company. Most of the victims were clients of ours. So Conway, our special investigator, cooked up this little scheme to trap the killer. I'm sorry I had to frighten you, dear. And you too, Kitty.
Oh, I wasn't frightened. I was numb.
You fellas are certainly great detectives.
Oh, yeah. We could have told you that.
Did you know that Coletti was the gorilla all along?
Sure we did.
No, we didn't.
Huh? When did you find out he was the gorilla?
When I shook hands with him.
I don't get you.
Well, you see, I was a window trimmer in a department store. And I ought to know a phony feel when I feel one.
We'll never be able to thank you, Mr. Harrigan.
Oh, well, that's all right. I understand you two are getting married soon.
Well, if you call tomorrow soon.
Well, remember, if you have any trouble with her, our specialty is following wives. You know where to send the check, and be sure it's certified.
From a Confederate bank.
Bye. Bye.
body?
Yes, Doctor. And the police are particularly anxious that the cause of death be determined at the earliest possible moment.
It's a pity. She was a very beautiful woman. One hates to perform an autopsy on a beautiful woman.
But you've no other choice, Doctor.
Most unusual. There are no marks of violence on the body. What do they suspect? Poison? Have they any idea?
My understanding is, Doctor, that the authorities are entirely at sea as to how she was killed. They know why, but, and they also have the fellow who killed her. But...
Yes, that doesn't matter. That's none of our business. Our business is to find out what killed her. And yet, one often wonders, what could have caused the last thought that was cut off by death? If it was spoken now, what would it be?
Yes, you're here. You found me at last. But you know what you kill me. I warn you. Don't come and outstep. No, don't, please. Don't. No, I told you I didn't want the bandage.
Why, Laura? Why are you so opposed to the bandage? Does it remind you of something, perhaps?
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing, Laura, nothing. Now, won't you lie down again and let me complete the examination? You're a sick girl, you know, in a highly nervous condition.
I want to know what you meant by saying the bandage reminded me of something.
If you don't know, how should I?
You don't fool me for a minute, Doctor. I know how you feel about me.
Do you, Laura? Then I wish you'd tell me, for I don't know. I don't know how I feel about you at all.
You're clever, Doctor. But I'm wise to you and that fool of a son of yours.
How long have you been married to Ward now?
Too long.
And why don't you give him his divorce? He's asked you often enough.
I'll give him a divorce when I'm good and ready.
I see.
I'm not afraid of anything he can do, or you, or anyone else. What's that?
Your heart's beating like a trip hammer. I must warn you that this high state of nervous tension...
What's that noise?
It's only a branch tapping against the window. Now, my dear Laura, if you want me to help you, you must tell me what it is you fear.
I told you I'm not afraid of anything. I know what's going on here. Someone's trying to scare me out, but it won't work, see? Here I am, and here I'll stay until I rot.
I'm afraid there's more truth in that than you suspect.
Laura, I must ask you not to cause Father any more trouble. I don't want you threatening him, you hear?
You too. You're so cute. I'm sure you want to be alone.
You're not going to make him pay for my mistake.
What are you going to do about it?
I'd like to...
You'd like to choke me, wouldn't you, Ward? You haven't got the nerve. Here. This is the only thing you ever gave me. You can have it back.
She's right. I gave her this when we were married. It's the only gift that ever passed between us.
Ward, what do you propose to do about Laura?
What can I do? She won't leave me. She won't give me a divorce.
Well, things can't go on this way, you know.
Dad, what is the matter with her? What do you think is wrong?
I don't know.
She wasn't this way until she began getting those letters from abroad, you remember?
Yes, it had something to do with those letters.
But you would have thought that when they stopped coming, that...
What is it, Elizabeth?
There's a patient, Doctor, a Mrs. Williams.
Williams?
That's the name she gave, and she's decked out like she's going to a horse show.
I can't see anyone today. Ask her to make another appointment.
Dad, please don't let what has happened interfere with your practice.
Oh, very well. Send her in a few minutes.
Sure, Doctor. Oh, yeah, that Bill Raymond's waiting. Do you want to see him?
Who's he?
That private cop who's always hanging around just hoping somebody gets murdered.
Oh, yes. He's probably come for his check. Take care of it, will you, Ward?
Yes. Elizabeth.
Yes.
This for you.
Gee. Thanks, Mr. Rory. But this belongs to Mrs. Van E, doesn't it?
Not anymore. It's all yours.
She won't get sore, will she? I don't want to have any trouble with her. You know how she is.
I know. We all know Elizabeth. And I want to thank you for your patience.
Run along now, Elizabeth.
Yes, Doctor.
You made a fatal mistake, my boy, in marrying Laura.
Yes, I know. But you don't suppose I'm going to stand for it forever, do you?
No, I don't. And I don't think it will be necessary.
Do you have a plan?
I think it'll be better if you leave everything to me.
From the day a mysterious caller came to see Dr. Van E.
Oh, yes, I remember now, Mrs. Williams. I spoke to you this morning on the telephone. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you any more now than I told you then.
Oh, naturally, Doctor. I did not mean to imply that there were any abnormal goings-on here.
I assure you there is not, Mrs. Williams, nor will there be.
Nevertheless, Doctor, the way you were described to me and the way your place was described to me, I am certain that I am in the right place.
May I ask from whom you obtained these descriptions?
From a friend, Doctor. A mutual friend.
Lily Beth, the woman I love. Can't we be friends?
Stop tracking your big flat feet after me wherever I go. I've got things to do.
Oh, gee, it's wonderful just to see you around, busying yourself, the little housewife.
I never knew the cop who didn't love to stand around and watch other people work.
Mrs. Williams, it's obvious from your conversation that you've come into possession of certain facts concerning my past. I know of only one person who could have given you that information, and it was my belief, yes, even my hope, that person was dead. But let me say that even if that person were alive, I should not submit to blackmail from you or from anyone else.
You show great courage, Doctor, for one in your unusual position. There has been no question of blackmail. I came here seeking your cooperation, which you have refused to give. So, let us call the matter closed.
Thank you.
Au revoir, Doctor.
Then came this sinister pair.
My little guardian of the doorbell. If you had waited another second, Inigo and I should have kicked the door in.
Yes, sir.
Sir, there is an air of inquiry about you that immediately offends my deepest nature. There is something suggesting Scotland Yard, the French Sûreté, the Italian Carabinieri, the Turkish Polizei, and other minions of the law. In short, sir, I think you're a cop.
Yeah, how'd you know?
I believe I'm in the home of Dr. Joseph Van E.
Yes, sir. I mean, sirs.
Oh, do not be polite to Inigo. He's only offended by it. Run along, Inigo. Make yourself at home.
We got a nice tree in the yard, but it ain't got no coconuts.
My little friend Inigo is deaf and dumb. He cannot hear and he cannot speak. But he reads the lips, and I would advise you to say nothing to annoy him. For his temper is short, indeed. This, I presume, is Dr. Van E.'s private office.
Yes, sir. But I really should announce you.
My dear girl, if I allowed myself to be announced, I doubt I would be received anywhere.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But the doctor won't see anybody without an appointment.
Appointment? I have had an appointment with him these 20 years. He will see me.
Doctor, someone's coming!
My dear doctor, truthfully can it be said that your house is your castle, protected by your countless slaves?
So it is you, Leonard. I was warned you might appear like one of your own illusions out of nowhere.
My dear Joseph, you have not changed a bit.
Have you met my friend, Mr. Raymond?
Raymond? Oh, Raymond. No doubt a relative of the great magician of the same name.
Mr. Raymond is our private patrol officer. He keeps an eye on the premises for us. And other comings and goings.
A very good idea, my dear Joseph. To have a private bodyguard. Old friends.
Well, then maybe you'd like to be alone to talk over old times.
A very good suggestion. Thank you, Mr. Raymond.
I won't be far away, Doc. Well, so long, Mr. Leonide. Don't pull any more little men out of your hat.
Well, Leonide, what brings you to me after all this time?
The long arm of coincidence, my dear Joseph. Simply the long arm of coincidence. Aren't you glad to see me again?
No, I can't say that I am. You with your foreign background and I, what have we two in common?
Always truthful, Cousin Joseph. As when we were young men. You might have said no and saved your career. But you prefer to tell the truth and ruin yourself.
What do you want here, Leonide?
A few days' hospitality, my dear Joseph. Nothing more. Is that too much for one cousin to ask of another?
Remember, we agreed not to think of each other as cousins again, Leonide.
Bygones, my dear Joseph. And I'm willing to forget. And I suggest that you do the same.
You've grown older, Leonide, but there may be something in what you say. I'm not one to hold a grudge. But don't do anything that will make me regret my action.
You have my promise. Now, if you will show me to my room. Oh, I should say, I have a traveling companion from whom I am inseparable.
Who?
Inigo, a dwarf, one of the little men. He became very much attached to me when he lost his master. You do not object?
What good would that do?
How true.
Very well. You may have the room next to my daughter-in-law. I know you'll like that.
Oh, yes. The lady, who I'm told has an utmost horror of having her eyes blindfolded. A phobia of most interesting origin, I dare say. Something to think about.
That night, my husband questioned Leonard about my past.
Cousin Leo.
Oh, my dear Ward. How flattering that you remember me.
Well, how could I ever forget you? What are you doing here?
A chance visitor, my boy. I wanted to see the old homestead again.
You've seen Father?
Yes, and he received me with open arms, in a manner of speaking.
I don't mind telling you, you came at a very bad time. We're having some trouble.
My boy, trouble and I are like this. I presume you refer to the charming lady in the room next to mine, your wife, I believe.
Yes, Laura.
I haven't met her, but I'm looking forward to the pleasure.
I'd like to talk to you for a moment.
All right.
Perhaps you can help us.
By doing what, my boy?
You've been everywhere. You were caught in Europe during the war. I'd like to show you something. You may be just the person I'm looking for.
If I can be of any service.
Did you ever hear of a dance team called Renee and Lorette?
I don't think so, my boy. And then again...
There must have been such a team. Look.
Renee and Lorette. The dance of the green mask in the green room in Paris. The green room.
Yes?
Oh, the face of the man does seem slightly familiar. May I ask, where you got this photograph?
The maid, Lilibet, found it in Laura's room and turned it over to me.
Oh, well, my boy, I'm afraid I can't help you. I played the green room on several occasions, but never with these people. In fact, I don't seem to remember them at all. And I appeared in many clubs during the occupation.
I'm sure the girl behind the green mask in this picture is Laura.
How can you be sure? Who can ever be sure what's behind a mask? If the people in this photograph could suddenly come to life. I'd like to know who the man is. It can be anyone, my friend. Anyone. In this makeup, it might be even I. I wish you wouldn't joke about it. This is very serious. Of course. But let us say you found...
I'd find out I wasn't married to Laura at all.
Think over what I've asked you. It'll be to your advantage. Certainly, my boy. I will give it every consideration. And perhaps something will occur. Who knows? Don't you want to leave the photograph with me for my further study? It might be the very incentive that my memory needs.
No, thanks. I'll keep it.
As you wish.
I'll make a bet the man in green will get you yet.
Here you go.
Good morning. Who is it?
It's me, ma'am.
What do you want?
The afternoon mail. You wanted to know when it arrived.
Was there anything for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Put it under the door.
I can't. It's a package.
What's in it?
I don't know. It's against postal regulations to open other people's mail.
That's never stopped you before.
I'd like to know what you mean by that remark, ma'am.
Oh, shut up and get out.
Don't you want me to help you open it?
No, I don't. Get out.
It's addressed to you in green ink with a warning. Look out for the man with the green mask.
Ma'am, who done it? Which way did he go?
Get out! Get out!
I just heard you yell. I was hoping it was a murder at least.
Get out! I tell you, you have no business here.
Well, but you don't understand. I'm supposed to be here. That's what I'm being paid for.
Paid?
Yeah. You see, I'm Bill Raymond, private cop in this neck of the woods. I was hoping we'd have a little murder or something happen around here so as I could solve it and get my old job back at Central Homicide. Nothing personal, of course.
Who told you to say these things to me?
Well, nobody said nothing to me. I was just waiting around outside to see Dr. Van E, and I heard you yell.
So you're a friend of that crazy doctor and his son?
Crazy? I wouldn't exactly say that, ma'am. The doc's a pretty good egg. You wouldn't want anyone to say you was crazy, even if you...
You can go back and tell them I'm not afraid of being murdered by you or them or anyone else.
No, I don't guess you are, ma'am. Still and all, if you was to get murdered and I was to find out who done it, it'd be kind of a break for me.
Vatom, viste kosho.
I wouldn't say that to you, lady, even if I knew what it meant.
Now will you get out?
All right. I can take a hint. Nice little bedroom companion you've got there.
Get out.
I'll go, but don't think I'll come running next time you yell. I'll know it's a fake.
I became afraid and my mind started to crack.
Lilybeth, my melancholy baby, where are you?
Where'd you get that box?
box.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You lying little snoop going through my things. What'd you do with the picture? Where is it?
I didn't see it. That's the last time you put your hands on me.
I'll give you one more chance, and then
I told you I don't know where the picture is, and I don't know what you're talking about.
It's been you all the time going through my things, opening my mail, rapping on my door at night.
Now you're blaming me. I've never touched anything of yours.
You've got my robe on now. Where'd you get that?
I was just trying it on. Mr. Ward gave it to me. He said you didn't want it anymore.
I'll tell you when there's something I don't want. Oh, shut up. It's only a dummy.
A dummy? Where'd you get that thing?
I suppose you're going to tell me you don't know anything about that either.
Oh, I bet it was in the box. In the box I brought up for you, that's what.
There were no stamps on it. How did it get in the mail?
I don't know. The doorbell rang, and I thought it was a mailman. I opened the door, and it was sitting there on the stoop.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. I don't mind telling a lie now and then, but I'm not lying now, honest.
You're trying to scare me out. I'm not leaving.
No, but I am.
You come here. You and Mr. Ward are pretty thick, aren't you?
Thick?
Yes, thick like your head. He's fallen in love with someone else. Who's she?
I don't know. It's not me.
I know it isn't you. I know all the signs. He's fallen in love with some simple-faced men. There's always a way to get even with them. I've got to find that picture. Otherwise, they won't know what he looks like. I've got to send it to the police. He won't dare touch me.
Who do you mean, the man in the picture?
Have you seen him?
Maybe I have, and maybe I haven't. Maybe I saw him go behind the thicket, or through the wall, or under the house.
He's here in the house?
Yes. I let him in. I let him in. He was waiting outside to get you, Miss Laval. Miss Laval.
There's nothing safe from your prying eyes, is there? You think you know everything, don't you?
I know why you're afraid, and I know what you've done. No, I'm not so thick. I'm not as thick as you think I am, Miss Laval. That head's supposed to be you, kind of a calling card. I'll remind you that...
Why, you...
Excuse me, lady.
Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Where are you hiding?
Dr. Fanny! Dr. Fanny! Doc. Fun is fun. But after all, there ain't nothing in my contract that says I gotta... Well, now I ask you, is that anything to be playing football with?
Where did you get that, Raymond?
Miss Fanny chucked it at me like I was a pass receiver for a football team. And I'm all out of practice.
Let me see it. This comes from a group of anatomical specimens that was locked in a room in the cellar. How did you happen to get it?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There I was, outside her door, strictly minding my own business, understand? Listening at the keyhole.
I don't think that belongs in the realm of your duties, Raymond.
But, Doc, there were screams inside. You gotta admit it's within the longitude of my profession to make with an investigator
in the cellar.
Well, the way I heard it, it was sent to Mrs. Vanny.
That was rather a gruesome practical joke.
Why, your anatomical locker hasn't been opened for ages. I think you once told me you'd lost the only key to it.
I know. There is no key to my knowledge.
Why, that thing didn't walk out of the room by itself.
Hardly.
Doc, I'm worried.
What about, Raymond?
Well, now, take this head business. The whole thing don't seem hardly serious to me. I think that if it's all the same to you, I better be checking along to other duties.
You're not afraid, are you, Raymond?
Who, me? Scared? It's just that I don't think that there's going to be any murder here done after all.
That's too bad.
Well, it's not your fault, I guess. It's just not my lucky day, that's all.
Thank you, Lilybeth.
Oh, Miss Lilybeth, have you a little more coffee in the kitchen?
What happened to the 3 gallons I already gave you today?
Lilybeth, what you need is a good, strong, steady man
Who is always hanging around, tracking up my floors and things. What's that on your shoe? Looks like cobwebs from out of the cellar. What were you doing in the basement?
It could have been the attic.
Bill Raymond, you're holding out on me. What are you up to?
Up to?
Yes. Who asked you to go poking around in the cellar?
It was in performance of my duty.
What duty? What did you find?
Absolutely nothing. That's what makes me so disgusted.
Too bad about you.
You know, Lily Beth, I think somebody around here is just kidding. They don't mean business at all.
Why don't you just wait around and see?
Say, if you got any inside dope, I wish you'd tip me off. If I'm ever going to get back to Central and prove I'm a good detective, I gotta have some clues.
Yes, I was scared. Scared of my life.
I expected big things of that ghoulish-looking guy, but he ain't delivered neither.
I should say, in a way, you were entitled to expect big things from him. Leo was once confined in this house when it was an institution for the insane. Nerves, you know.
Do tell. Well, then, he must know his way around the place, huh?
I understand while he was here, he engineered an immense number of secret passages through which the guards could keep an eye on the inmates at night. Finally, he took one of these passages into the outside world, and we heard later he'd been seen in Europe.
Ah, Europe. That's where history's being made today. Gee, I'd love to travel and...
Well, perhaps you'll have an opportunity someday.
Not if something don't happen around here pretty soon to make me famous. That Lily Beth. I've been trying to get a cup of coffee off of her all day. She don't care what happens to my metabolism. Metabolism. That's a good word. I wonder what it means.
Operator, I want the police right away.
Stop crowding me.
But, hon, don't you want me around to protect you? That indigo guy might...
Yes, but who's going to protect me from you?
Lily Beth. My wild Irish rose. I just live for the day when I can take you out of all this. When I can slave and get you the luxuries in life. Gee, I'd gladly work my fingers to the bone to buy you expensive motor cars and furs and jewels and things and serve you breakfast in bed. What's the matter with me? Am I crazy?
Yes, and I'd hate to hang by my neck until you got me all those things.
Yeah, you might get a little blue in the face. Still in all I gotta do is to find myself one slightly murdered body, and I'm in.
Stop looking at me.
Oh, Lily Beth, sometimes I think I'm not getting anywheres with you. What do you think?
I think you've got a good idea there.
All right, all right. You'll be sorry someday when you see my picture in the paper. Wait and see. Hey, Lily Beth, why don't you answer the doorbell? Maybe that indigo guy wants in. The doctor ain't home. You'll have to call some other time.
Don't be silly.
Don't say I didn't tell you. Close the door on your way out.
Hey, wait a minute. Well, if it isn't Bull Raymond.
Shh, Terry. You trying to ruin me?
Ruin him. Come here, Bull. Meet Miss Cornell.
How do you do, I'm sure.
Likewise.
How do you happen to be out with him?
Cute, darling, don't you think? Flat at both ends, head and feet. You've heard me speak of him. Bull Raymond.
Bill Raymond, if you please. Mr. Terry Lee, you so-called reporter. How do you happen to be out with a dish like this?
Jane Cornell. Good for dull days in a man's life.
Mr. Raymond. Oh, yeah, I remember. Terry told me about the time you shot up the dressmaker's dummy.
Huh?
Yeah, he said you closed in on what you thought was the murderer, but it turned out to be the dressmaker's dummy and you shot it full of holes while the real murderer got away.
My pal.
So this is where you've been hiding after they kicked you out for that fiasco, huh? Bill, I mean?
What are you doing here? Can't a man rehabilitate himself in peace? Here I come, looking for an honest crime around here so I can solve it and get myself back to Central. And you come along and...
Where's the body, Bill?
There ain't no body. That's the trouble.
No, let's keep it friendly.
Friendly? What do you mean?
Let's have it. Who killed who and why?
Are you kidding? Did somebody get knocked off around here?
Look, I don't like to be kidded either. Where is it hidden, Sherlock?
Oh, Terry, you've been on the police beat so long that...
Now listen, Bill, you know me well enough to know I wouldn't come out here just for the ride. Not when I could be, It just so happens there was a call to the police. Came from out here. And I happened to be there when it came through. Miss Cornell happens to be the operator. So she tipped me off. Told me the line had gone dead. So I smelled the story, and here I am for an exclusive. You see what I mean? What's in there?
Well, that's the doctor's consulting room, but there ain't nobody in there. I've been standing here for quite a spell.
Open it up. Let's take a look.
That's funny. The lights in here ain't almost never out.
In you go.
Never do that. I could get killed that way.
Is that bad? Oh, so nothing's happened around here, huh?
It's busted. There, see? Like I said, there ain't nobody here. Hey, cut it out, will you? You're making me dizzy. Well, sure, somebody stumbled over it and pulled it out of the wall. Could happen anywheres.
Wants to shake hands with you, Bill. Step right up.
Not me. You seen it first. Doc!
Raymond, did you try and kill me?
Why, Doc, why should I do that? You ain't paid me for last month yet. How long you been here?
Now, let me see. I was going to make a telephone call when...
Somebody conked you, huh, Doctor? Then ripped the telephone wire out?
Yes, I imagine that is about what happened. Who are these people?
Well, they're all right, Doc. This is Terry Lee and Miss Cornell from the Times.
We don't want any reporters here. Nothing's happened.
Look, Doctor, nobody ever wants reporters, but then something happens and there they are.
But nothing has happened. I fell and hurt my head.
Oh, I see. Then you got up again, put yourself on the table, and got all nice and pretty in that shroud there.
You won't get any story here. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have some work to do.
Doctor, do you mind if we stick around for a while, seeing that nothing's happened? Well, why not?
Very well, you may stay for a while, but I warn you, if you make yourselves objectionable in any way, I'll have Raymond throw you out.
Well, come on. You heard what the doctor said. He's busy. Get out of the office.
Probably a pretty nice guy, caught in a tough spot. That's the way I see it. You wouldn't want me to tell him you got kicked out of homicide, would you, Bill, old boy?
Oh, Terry, you're my pal. You know that, don't you? Would I kick you out?
You would if you could, Bill. Now, why can we have a little talk, quiet like?
Well, if you just follow me in the parlor over here.
Oh, me too, darling, me too. Darling knows everything about everyone, and that's how I learned.
Did that?
I just sit at his feet and listen.
Baby, I'm going to miss you an awful lot when I grow tired of you. Now, remember, you're just going to listen.
Well, of course, darling. What else do I do when I'm with you?
Sit down. Now, as I remember it, there was a singer at the Click Club who called herself Flora Laval. Didn't she marry young Ward Vanny a couple of years ago?
I don't know nothing about it.
Oh, yes, you do. It was just about the same time that you had that affair with the dressmaker's dummy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now I remember, Terry. You're right. She was down at the Click Club, and it was her that married Ward.
Wasn't that on a bet of some kind?
Well, there was a party going on, and somebody dared Ward to ask the singer to marry him. And he thought at the time it was a good gag, and he went along with it.
That's right. He got pretty high and then popped the question at her.
How romantic. I just love that.
Hush, dear. Listen.
Well, that's how it happened anyway. Ward woke up the next morning and found himself married solid. He'd asked her, and she'd snapped him up.
Oh, and they lived snappily ever after.
I don't care. I think it was sweet. Darling, couldn't I get you high sometime and...
Sweetheart, have you ever heard the old saying about little girls?
What's that?
Little girls should be seen and not heard. Now go on, powder your nose.
I think I'll be shoving along, too.
Now, wait a minute. We're just getting started. We were talking about a singer who called herself Laura Laval. Pushed her way into this house for good reasons of her own.
Gentlemen, I beg your pardon. I must tell you frankly, I have been eavesdropping.
Professor Leonard, this is a reunion.
My boy, you must forgive me. You seem to remember me, but I do not recollect you. When was it?
What was it? Oh, Professor, it was a long time ago, and I was a kid up in the balcony in Albany.
Yes?
When you brought down the house with great feats of legerdemain.
Oh.
You remember, Professor? That was the night that the box office receipts disappeared, just like magic.
Part of the act, my boy. Just a part of the act. It's a pleasure to meet one of my youthful admirers.
Terry Lee of the Central City Times.
Oh, the press? Well, it's nice to have known you.
Wait a minute, Professor. What's your hurry? Are you afraid I might bring up the subject of those certain unfortunate recent connections of yours?
Shot in the dark, my boy, I'm sure. And I will ignore it.
Of course.
And this young lady, no doubt a companion of yours.
Jane Cornell, my fiancée.
Delighted.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Delightful. And I would suggest to take very good care of her.
Mr. Lee?
Oh, I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet, Mrs. Van Eve.
Never mind, I'll tell him myself.
Darling, I met her upstairs and I told her all about you and that you know everything about everyone.
Thank you very much, dear. Welcome to your living room, Mrs. Van Eve.
Thank you, but it isn't my living room. I understand you're not unaware of my position in this house.
Well, maybe you can tell us about it.
I'm being kept a prisoner here against my will. I'm alone and friendless.
I'm sorry. Why haven't you called the police?
They've done nothing but to call for the police. They have kept me penniless so that I can't leave.
I understand.
They're trying to destroy my mind, Mr. Lee. By innuendo and indirection, they're trying to make me believe I've done something dreadful in the past. That I'm to be the victim of some horrible vengeance.
You know best about that.
I'm innocent, Mr. Lee. I've done nothing. Now, this doctor's brought some stranger here with these tricks and illusions to further make me believe...
You mean the professor and his little,
Yes. You must help me, Mr. Lee.
Laura, it's so good to see you downstairs again after all these days being locked in your room.
You know perfectly well why I've remained locked in my room.
Ward, this is Mr. Lee of the Times, the gentleman I told you about upstairs.
Oh, yes. Look here, Mr. Lee. We don't want any more of that front-page splash stuff, such as I got when I married Laura.
Your wife's been telling us that she's being kept here under constant threat.
She is out of her mind.
See what I mean, Mr. Lee? They don't overlook a single chance to put it in my head that I'm crazy.
Perhaps I can explain, Mr. Lee. We don't believe there's anything wrong with Laura now. But we are sure something will happen to her mind if she continues to live under this strain.
It's just as I told you. They're behind it. Can't I make that clear to you? They spend all their time trying to terrify me. They write me letters in green ink. They send me dummy heads wrapped in green paper. Anything to frighten me so I can't sleep. I can't think. The only thought in my head is that I'm going to be killed.
These are very serious charges, gentlemen. And I might say it'd make a perfect front-page splash.
Lee, if you dare print a word about those ravings of my wife...
Don't do anything to make me think they aren't ravings, Mr. Van Eve.
He said to put the blindfold on, and you will know the truth.
No!
What's wrong with her, Doc?
Quiet, Raymond.
You don't mean that she's...
Dead, Raymond.
Then I knew that he was here.
She's coming out of it, which profound state of shock. May be necessary to administer a sedative.
That's intended to shut her up. I'd like to hear her do some more talking, Doctor.
If her mind is allowed to dwell upon what's happened, that may be the breaking point.
Well, you've got all the answers.
Look here, Lee, I don't like your tone. If you have any insinuations to make them to me.
Okay, I will. Suppose you and I talk this over downstairs.
I don't recognize your right to question me. However, if it'll make you leave Father alone...
Bill, fix yourself a chair right outside the door and don't leave until I get back.
Sure, sure. But what about Lilybeth? Don't she write nothing around here?
Now, Lee, first I'd like to see your credentials. You're busting here saying you're a reporter.
That's the old turn the tables gag, Vanny, but if it'll make you any happier, take a look.
All right, you're a reporter. But I still don't understand how you and the young lady got the news about our troubles. Do you really believe that story, Lee? Do you in your right senses really believe that we are keeping Laura a prisoner here?
That's what the lady says. She said that...
Nonsense. Nothing would please me more than if she got out.
Look, I don't get any of this stuff, Vanny, but there's a tricky deal going on around here, and I intend to sit in on it. Too bad I can't flash the city desk to make ready for a front-page replay.
Yes, isn't it?
Either your wife is the victim of a well-plotted program of persecution calculated to drive her insane, or she's the witch you say she is.
You're the fellow with the nose for news. What does it tell you?
It tells me that right now I'd like to know where your disappearing relative is. Get back, you fool.
What's out there? I have a right to know. Don't see anything. What was it?
It isn't possible. It isn't possible, of course.
What do you see out there, Lee? I've had enough of this.
Come on.
Are you nervous, Miss Cornell?
Oh, no. I think it's very exciting.
Well, Professor, I thought I just saw you outside, baying at the moon.
You disturb her sleep.
Where have you been? How will you start acting normally for a change? You're bringing suspicion upon all of us.
I, my boy? What have I done?
Suppose you tell us.
Has no one arranged to silence you yet, Mr. Lee? What a pity.
I don't silence very easy, Professor, and it'd take a lot more than what you've done to her.
Do you suggest that I had a hand in that poor girl's unfortunate demise?
Why don't you behave yourself, Professor? Mr. Van E here has the right idea. You're just gumming up the works.
I did my humble best.
Who are you working for? What do you expect to get out of it?
I'm discharging a debt, Mr. Lee. A debt contracted many years ago. Now, are you any wiser than you were a moment ago?
No, but I'm beginning to get a general idea.
By the way, how's that little girl of yours? I hope fervently that nothing happened to her. She would look so beautiful lying here.
Look, Professor, I may not have been very smart in bringing Miss Cornell here, but if I thought you had any plan to do that...
Why do you persist in making me the villain, Mr. Lee?
Now we will let you be the witness, Mr. Lee. I am here. The sounds came from upstairs, right?
Always reliable. Now what do you rehearse?
In there, Terry. In there. It's murder.
Jenny, wake up! Wake up!
Oh, Terry.
Tell me, what happened?
Oh, Terry, darling. Let me think. Everything went black and...
Yes?
Then it started to talk.
What started to talk?
I don't know. That thing.
Now look, let's get back to the beginning. I left you here with Dr. Van E.
Yeah, and then he gave Mrs. Vanny a shot with a long needle.
Never mind that.
All right. Then he said, would I sit with Mrs. Vanny?
Okay. Where is she now?
Who?
Mrs. Van E.
Where did she go?
That's just what I asked you, Janie.
Well, she was right here. Then Dr. Van E went out.
Then what happened?
Well, then Bill Raymond came in.
Oh, that's great. The two of you in the same room at the same time. How did you communicate with each other? Sign language?
Oh, I don't care. All you do is make
come to this, whatever it is.
Oh, yes, you did, dear. Don't you remember? You said you wanted to see what the life of a reporter was like.
Don't forget, Mr. Lee, one must not expect too much of certain types of mentality.
Shut up, Bill Raymond. I remember you when you couldn't even make your X.
Oh, I want to go home.
We can't go home, darling. We've got to get a story.
Why?
You don't understand.
Yes, I do. Why do we have to get the story? Who cares?
She's got you there.
All right. Now you tell me, what happened to you?
Me? Oh, well, you said to stay outside the door, and I pulled up a chair.
That's right. She was inside the door and you were outside.
Then come that odor of heavenly perfume.
That wasn't Lily Beth.
It was sweet and penetrating, like an ancient drug. And I felt kind of sleepy-like. Oh, so sleepy.
At last, he had me under his power.
There must be a button or a gadget of some kind around here. 2 o'clock, almost deadline for the 9 o'clock final.
Oh, Terry, what makes you think there's anything behind them walls?
I've got a sneaking suspicion that the professor uses them for a disappearing act.
I wish Lily Beth was here to make me a cup of coffee.
Well, she's right over in the doctor's office. Why don't you ask her?
Poor Lily Beth. I kind of hinted that all I needed was a murdered body, but I didn't think she'd take it personal.
Will you stay with those walls?
I've been around them 3 times, Terry.
Thing I can't understand, if the professor was down here when the trouble was going on upstairs, he just had to be 2 different guys in order to have a hand in it.
Oh, Terry, let's figure it out in the morning, huh?
What's that? Wake up. Either something or somebody opened the front door.
Oh, that's the shortest night's sleep I've had in a long time.
All right. Now that you're good and rested, let's see if we can understand what happened upstairs.
Well, do you think it had something to do with that picture, maybe, that Lily Beth found in Mrs. Van Ee's room?
What picture?
Oh, the one with the couple with the 2 masks, you know, like we found, like that mask.
Who has the picture now?
Well, young Van E, I guess.
That's a point. Where has Mr. Van E been since his wife's disappearance?
Well, him and his old man are sleeping. I guess they got some sense.
No. I've already checked that, and they haven't slept in their beds tonight. Wake up!
I refuse to answer on the grounds that my attempt to incriminate or degrade me. My unconscious mind.
Now look, Bill, please stay awake for a while. Now look, tell me, what happened when you smelled that sweet odor in the hall upstairs?
No, it smelled lovely. Lovely, that's all I can remember.
And Dr. Van E had already left Laura's room, is that right?
Yeah, he'd gone out, and he said goodnight, and he had given her some sedative or something that he said would take care of her till morning, and then he went down the hall to his own room.
And then you fell asleep?
Yeah, no, I just kind of dozed off a little. Like this.
Here's your coffee, sir.
Terry, that's a dirty trick.
Stay on the other side of that window.
What for?
Take a look.
I'm looking.
What do you see?
Why, it's Professor Leonard.
You think so? Come on, get outside.
Who, me?
Yes, you. I can't go out there with Jane in here.
Well, why can't I stay inside and watch and you go outside?
Oh, that's great. You'll watch the way you did upstairs. Now, do you want that guy to get away?
Yes.
Standing there shaking in your boots. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
No.
Well, you should be. Go on, Bill. This is your one chance to rehabilitate yourself.
Wished I'd never even heard of the word.
Have your gun ready.
What good is a gun against what's going on around here? Lilybeth! Gee, this ain't natural.
Who are you talking to?
The woman I loved. Poor little angel. Try and speak to me.
She can't hear you.
What was you doing outside? You're supposed to be dead. Now you stay right here, honey. I gotta catch that guy in the shrubbery. Oh, gee. What are you doing to me, Lilybeth? I got work to do. Lilybeth, be reasonable, will you? If you don't cooperate, I'll never get back to Central.
Never mind, Raymond. Take care of Lilybeth. Lilybeth!
Yeah, that's who it was. I opened the door and she fell right in my arms. Like she had something special to tell me. You notice that fragrance about her? And to think this wilted flower was once even as you and I.
Take her back into Dr. Van E's office. What's she doing wandering around? She's supposed to be a corpse.
What happened to that guy outside?
Never mind.
You found her.
I never knew she was lost.
I missed her. I missed her from my office. Will you please take her back?
What are you going to do?
Yes, Doctor, and what have you been doing? We've turned this house upside down trying to find you.
Hardly that, young man. If you'd done that, you would have found me. Now, Raymond, we can't allow this girl to remain in this condition any longer.
But what can you do? She looks like a perfect stiff to me.
Bring him into my office.
Oh, Doctor. This may not be any news to you, but your daughter-in-law has disappeared.
Oh, how dreadful. But let us say somewhat overdue, eh, Mr. Lee?
You don't seem very surprised to hear about it.
Young man, when you've been devoutly praying for something to happen, you accept your good fortune without question.
We thought that probably you might be able to throw some light on the subject.
That's right, Raymond. Leave her there. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her.
Huh? And you mean I've been pining away for nothing?
She was put in a deep hypnotic sleep, that's all.
But why? Why, Doc? Who done it?
It was done so that she would obey certain orders that were transmitted to her.
If that's true, then why did you declare her dead?
I had my own good reasons.
Would you give me one reason why you like to go around getting hit on the head? That must become a little monotonous.
Mr. Lee, are you sure that you saw what you thought you saw?
Well, I'm not blind. I might be getting a little dizzy in this madhouse. You know, Doctor, morning isn't very far off. And when the police get here, you've got an awful lot of explaining to do. You're in this up to your neck.
By morning, let us hope no explanations will be necessary. Everything will have explained itself.
Poor little sleeping beauty. Do you suppose someone thought she looked weak-minded and picked her out to carry out his commands?
That's not always the case, Raymond. If Leah and I were here, we could settle this case very quickly.
Gentlemen, it is my peculiar misfortune to always be in a position where I may eavesdrop. How can I be of service, Cousin Joseph?
Oh, Professor.
Ask me no questions, my friend, and I will tell you no lies.
Leonard, you could undo certain mischief that has been done this girl. I know you can help if you will.
I could, my dear Joseph. But I will not bring down the wrath of the unknown madman who is loose about these premises. It is a matter of self-preservation. I had nothing to do with hypnotizing this girl.
I have an idea that she may have already carried out the unknown's orders and that he no longer needs her.
Nevertheless, my dear Joseph, you must excuse me.
Just a minute, Professor. I wonder what would happen, Professor, if in connection with your sudden reappearance here, somebody dug up the old story of why you swindled Dr. Van E and then ran off and let him take the rap.
I will not be blackmailed, Mr. Lee. And I observe again
that you're a young man who knows too much for his own good. And I would also like to know where you obtained all this information. You're extremely young to have your fingertips on events of 20 years ago.
I have a memory like an elephant. I never forget something once I hear it. I'm a Sharpie, Professor, as every one of you will admit before morning. Now, Doctor, I'd like to bore you with a few questions.
I wouldn't mind, young man, if you had the slightest idea of what you were looking for.
Maybe if we start back to the time around midnight, when you administered what you call a sedative to your daughter-in-law.
Are you inferring that I had anything to do with Laura's disappearance?
Why do you keep evading the issue, Doctor? You know you'll have to confess when the police get here anyway.
I would remind you, young man, that you're making a direct accusation, and I refuse to answer.
Look, I want the facts and I want them now. Let's cut out the mulberry bush routine. Listen, Bill, you're supposed to be a cop and you want to get back to homicide. Help me make the doctor loosen up. He knows a lot more than he's telling.
Well, sure, I'll help Terry, but first let's get Lilybeth out of this. Maybe she can tell us something.
Yes, Mr. Lee, it seems to me that you're not too anxious to have Lilybeth restored to consciousness.
What do you hear, Doc?
Her heart's in a very depressed condition. Someone's been giving her orders by mental telepathy.
Hey, could I learn to do that? Supposing Lilybeth was in the kitchen, could I telegraph her a wish for a cup of coffee, huh?
Perhaps, Raymond, someday when we have a little time, I'll indicate the principles of hypnosis to you.
Maria Joseph. The principle of hypnosis isn't as simple as you would make them believe. It requires long and patient study. But I will risk the rest of the unknown. For I see you truly love this child. And for your sake, I shall use my knowledge.
Oh, gee, thanks, Professor. You're solid.
Wake up. Wake up.
Lilybeth, darling.
Keep your big hands to yourself. What are you slapping me for?
Professor, put her back to sleep. It's better that way.
What have you been doing to me?
Me? What have I been doing?
Yes, what have you been doing?
You gotta learn me that hypnotism trick. It's my only chance.
Tell me, Lilybeth, what happened?
Well, I can't seem to remember it. It all seems like a dream.
Did you see anyone?
No. But I do remember a perfume, a sweet odor.
Yes, go on.
Terry, darling. Oh, Terry, darling.
Yes, Jane. What is it?
Is it Halloween?
No, it isn't.
Then why was that green face bobbing up at the window?
What?
Yeah, a green face just like the one I saw in Miss Van E's room.
You saw a green face in Mrs. Van E's room?
Yes, darling, that's what she was shooting at. I mentioned it to you, but you're so scatterbrained.
Yes, dear, I'm scatterbrained. Does your mind feel rested now and everything after your nap?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good girl. Now, come on, tell me, what happened?
Oh, don't yell at me. I can tell you just how it happened. We were alone in the room, and Laura was going to sleep. And then she said, oh, take away the bandage. And I said, what bandage? And then she said, oh, don't shoot me. I didn't mean to do it. And then, the room got awfully black. I think somebody must have turned off the lights. Just like that.
Go ahead, you're doing fine.
Well...
Yeah, the lights had already gone out.
Uh-huh. And the room got awfully dark.
You've already said that. Think hard now. You saw a green mask.
It came out of the wardrobe.
Like a moth?
Yes, darling, just like a moth. Oh, how clever of you. It was just like a great big moth, and it flew around and
Please don't make yourself any dizzier than you are. Now tell me the rest of it.
Well, I just don't see how you could remember that it was like a great big moth. And did you see it? Were you there hiding in the wardrobe, maybe?
No, I wasn't in the wardrobe. Now look, Jane, please, be yourself. No, I mean, don't be yourself. Just relax. Relax.
Mr. Lee, just a moment. Where were you? Were you upstairs?
No, I was down here talking with your son. And by the way, where is he?
Here I am, Mr. Lee. What can I do for you?
Will you stop it?
Yes, I was listening outside the door. You haven't answered my father's question yet.
Oh, come on, take it easy, take it easy. Maybe you can tell us where you've been, Mr. Vanny. Of course you don't know anything about your wife's whereabouts.
Oh, go on, tell him where she is. I want to go home. I'm hungry.
Quiet, everybody, quiet!
Laura!
Don't. No, don't. Don't.
Laura!
She's under a hypnotic spell.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an exciting night, and you all are deserving of some explanation and relaxation for the strange goings-on.
The guy who's doing the talking is behind the wall somewheres.
Now you're getting smart, Sherlock.
We introduce at this time the team of Lorette and Renee as they appeared at the height of their success in the green room of the Paris Crillon.
Sure, the mask, the picture.
Mademoiselle Lorette.
Now I know who he is.
Mademoiselle Lorette will now put a bandage over her eyes, the better to see the inner truth.
Very good, Renee. Very good. Just like the old time.
Would any member of the audience like to ask Mademoiselle a question? Come, Mr. Lee. You have been so full of questions up to now.
I'm thinking, brother.
We cannot keep Mademoiselle too long in this delicate mental balance. She has been under a great strain lately. Then I will ask the questions myself.
Yes, Rennie, I'm at your command.
Are you afraid now?
No, I'm quite safe.
Will you tell the truth?
Yes. They came to me and said your partner, he of the magic feats and rare impersonations, is a spy. But we can't prove it. We will give you 1,000,000 francs if you, Lorette, bring us that proof.
Now we shall know.
You gave them the proof they wanted?
Yes.
They took him away to be killed?
Yes.
What was he to you, this man you betrayed? This man you sold to the enemy for money?
He was my husband.
When they told you he was to be executed, you sent this man a gift for his last moment before the firing squad. What was it?
It was a green scarf for his eyes.
Like the one you're wearing now?
Yes.
Why did you send it?
It was my scarf. I wanted him to know I had betrayed him because I hated him. He was good and kind, but I hated him for the power he had over me.
I see. That is your only defense. You hated. You thought they shot him. You escaped to America. You thought you were safe. Then you found out he was alive and wanted revenge. Thank you, Mademoiselle Lorette. You may remove the bandage now. What do you see on the cloth, Mademoiselle?
There's a hole in it.
Yes. What else, Lorette? What else?
There's blood on it. There's blood.
I have come back. I am here, and I will have my revenge.
No! No, don't touch me!
Outside, under the window, you know where.
Yes, he had his revenge. She's been living in mortal terror that he'd find her.
Just a minute, lady. You ain't going nowheres. Well, if it ain't Mrs. Williams, come along with me. Come on, you want me to slug you? Get inside. Hey, Terry, come here. Get a load of this. There's your man. At last I caught me a murderer.
You're wrong. I never laid a hand on her.
Nay, my boy, you kept your promise to me. You said you wouldn't touch her.
But she's dead, ain't she? And you ain't going nowhere till we find out what killed her. And you, Professor, you know too much for your own good. I'm holding you, too.
Now you're getting smart, Bill. Well, Professor, I see you two know each other.
Yes. Rene was my assistant. I taught him everything he knows. He went out for himself and became a success. Later, we met in a concentration camp. And here we are. A small world, Mr. Lee. A small world, indeed.
Terry, isn't this the place where you get the marriage licenses?
No, dear, this is the morgue, the morgue.
Oh, darling, you say the cutest things. The mark. Oh!
Oh, never mind, dear. You just stay right here. Nobody will get you.
Oh, but
Well, Doctor, got anything to add to my story of the year?
Who's this Renee?
Renee was a husband. She turned him over for a sum. Figured the Nazis would take care of him, but he had ideas of his own.
Look, Doc, was it murder? Do I finally get a break? Was she murdered?
We're sending the report to the police.
What was it say?
Ah, come on, Doctor. Don't hold out on us.
I didn't understand it at first, but I do now. There were no marks of violence on the body, and we found no internal disturbances.
What does this all add up to, Doctor?
Yes, let's have it.
She was literally scared to death.